had a sex change operation. My penis is now a vagina and I'm experiencing womanhood for the first time in my life. See you in class.
Okay, that is not how you have this conversation with a child. South Park has made episodes about trans people, but are they transphobic? Let's find out.
Hello, Mr. Garrison. I'm Dr. Biber. I'll be performing your surgery today. God bless you, doctor. I know you'll make me well again. Now, you're absolutely sure you want to have a vaginoplasty?
Okay, a vaginoplasty. A vaginoplasty is the surgery that turns a penis into a vagina. Plasty means create, vagina, plasty, create a vagina. Trans people do not get these surgeries right away. There is a long step-by-step process to this. Oftentimes, you start HRT, which is hormone replacement therapy, after you have socially transitioned. Social transitioning can include going by a new name, going by new pronouns, wearing new clothes, getting a haircut, shaving, and wearing makeup. On top of that, have a requirement that you have been on hormones for at least a year, so you can't just walk into one of these places and get the surgery. And many places still require that you need 2 letters from mental health professionals to say that you are ready for these surgeries. Also, what's that flag going on in the corner? That is not the trans flag. That is a trans flag. Why is he called Mr. Garrison here? I know he detransitions later, so I'm going to use he, him pronouns. But why Mr.? That's already misgendering.
My whole life I've been a woman trapped in a man's body. A sex change operation is my last chance at happiness. All right, then let's begin. Just relax, Mr. Garrison.
Hold on. This is a major surgery. You need anesthesia for this. You might be wondering, how do I know all this stuff if I'm not a doctor? Well, it's because you have to do the research before you get these surgeries.
I think if more people could just see a sex change operation, they would know how perfectly natural it is. The first thing I'm going to do is slice your balls.
Okay, so what's going on here is they're showing graphic parts of a surgery. And this is from a documentary called Let Me Die a Woman back in the 70s. Now, I'm blurring this because, well, YouTube wouldn't allow me to show it. And second, I feel like this is very exploitative. This was a documentary about trans people and the surgeries they needed. Also, every surgery is going to look graphic. They're trying to say that the surgery is unnatural. Yeah, it's unnatural. Surgery is inherently unnatural, and surgery is inherently unpleasant to look at.
With the scrotum open,
Again, why is he awake? Why is he awake? He should be sedated.
Now I'll use the skin from your penis to make the vaginal lips. Do I look like a woman? Pretty much.
Okay, the pretty much is meant to be a joke there. In reality, vaginoplasty is pretty much indistinguishable from any cis woman's vagina. Gynecologists can't even tell the difference. So this is not accurate at all.
Yeah, look kid, you've got great skills and a great attitude, but you're just not physically built for the game.
What do you mean?
Well, it's just that Jews can't play basketball.
That sounds like clear discrimination. If I were him in that situation, I would probably go for a lawsuit. I mean, explicitly saying Jews aren't allowed to play basketball, yeah, that's anti-Semitic and probably illegal. It's not about the body, it's the fact that he was saying Jews cannot play. That is the difference.
Hey everybody, you're not gonna believe it! Believe what? It's Mr. Garrison! Only it isn't Mr. Garrison, he's a woman now!
She.
Hello, everybody! Can you believe it, ladies? I'm one of you now!
Okay. I admit, there is some excitement when you first start to socially transition. But there is also an element of safety here. This is not a safe thing for trans people to do in most places. This could get them killed. Because this world is a hateful place.
Wow, just look at all these tampons! Regular, heavy flow. Oh boy, I can't wait till I get my first period!
And the tampon things are misleading. See, a sex change is a bit of a misnomer. Most people in the field, and trans people receiving it, call it gender affirmation surgery. It doesn't change your sex. It affirms your gender. That's what it does. And it makes you feel more comfortable in your body. That's what it is. Now, in the past, I have said that I have a period. But that's often shorthand I use, because with hormones, which they don't even talk about in this episode, but they should know about because it was mentioned in the documentary, change your hormonal cycle and you have the emotional side of a period. I call it a period out of shorthand, but I know that's not an actual menstrual cycle. Now this may surprise some of you, but trans women actually do need period product. Part of it is for safety, that if you're in a restroom, you can offer someone a tampon if you feel unsafe, as a way of signaling that you are cis. That is a matter of safety. Not only that, if you're just recovering from a vaginoplasty, you're gonna need some pads, because there's gonna be discharge. So really, trans women need these products as well. And of course, they have to make a joke about trans people in the bathroom.
Hi, gals.
This is not how bathroom situations work. You just do your thing and leave.
Oh boy, can you believe the sales they're having out
What
there?
the hell is he doing? He's using the mascara on his glasses. Or not even coming close to the eye.
Vagina for the first time. Give us a hug, girls club.
You don't pee out of your vagina, you pee out of your urethra.
Alright, here it goes.
Ah, an available stall.
Oh wow, this is great. Look at that, I'm peeing sitting down like a dainty, dignified little woman. So any of you ladies want to go see a sad movie together?
So they're implying that only AMAT people have diarrhea?
Kyle, you have to cheer up, dude. So you aren't built right for basketball. But I feel like a basketball player. It's all I want to do.
Hello, boys. It's me, your teacher, Mrs. Garrison.
How does he have breasts? I mean, seriously. For a vaginoplasty with no hormones, that's not really realistic. You would expect hormones or a breast augmentation to be done. Really, breasts come from hormones. For most trans femmes, they get their breasts from hormones. Medication. It's very clear they did no research whatsoever for this. I believe in the First Amendment and freedom of speech, so they should not be in jail for this, but they should have done their research. For as much as they claim that this is making fun of everyone, this is not. Transphobes are some of the easiest people to make fun of, but they aren't doing it. See, transphobes, they're obsessed with people's genitals. That's weird, isn't it? There's a lot of jokes to become from that. People who care about another person's chromosomes? Whoa, weird. There are lots of jokes about them, right? Or someone who looks as feminine as I do. They just see a man. They insist, oh, you just look like a man. No. Everyone who I interact with in my life calls me female, even strangers. So really, stop lying to yourself. See, there's a lot of jokes about transphobes they could have put in here if they wanted to make an argument if they're making fun of everyone. But they didn't. Honestly, this is more transphobic than the Prigger You episode.
I had a sex change operation. My penis is now a vagina and I'm experiencing womanhood for the first time in my life. See you in class.
Okay, that is not how you have this conversation with a child. There's a very easy way to explain what being transgender is to a child that doesn't involve penises, vaginas, anything like that. One way to talk about this with children without talking about penises and vaginas is to say, I've always felt this way on the inside, and I'm just being happy and living the life the way I should. No reason to talk about a penis or vagina.
Mom, Dad, what's a sex change operation?
What? Nothing. I'll explain it to you when you're a little older.
And the avoiding of the question is the problem there. That when you do that, it sends the message of this isn't something you should be exposed to. Imagine how trans kids would feel in this situation. Feeling alone and not sure what to do. Because for many just trans kids, this was all we knew about trans people.
But our teacher, Mr. Garrison, he just had his penis made into a vagina. How come? Penis!
Your teacher had a sex change? Oh my god.
Vagina!
That does it. I'm taking you boys out of that school.
Gerald, that is very close-minded of you. You shouldn't judge people who want to change.
He's a teacher. How are we supposed to explain this to our children?
It's very simple. You see, Kyle, sometimes a person's outside doesn't reflect who they are on the inside.
Yeah, that's right.
They feel like there's somebody trapped in another person's body. And so, they can have a surgery that makes them more into the person they see themselves as. Do you understand?
Totally. I totally understand.
That's a more reasonable explanation to give to a child.
There, you see, Gerald? He totally understands.
So I hear you're interested in reconstructive surgery.
Yeah, my school teacher wanted to be a woman, and you made him into one.
Oh yes, Mr. Garrison.
HIPAA violation?
Yes, he had a vaginoplasty.
Well, do you also do other surgeries like that?
Sure. You see, sometimes a woman wants to be a man. That procedure is called a peniplasty.
That's not what it's called. It's a metoidoplasty or a phalloplasty.
No, I want to be tall and black.
You what?
I hate being small and Jewish. I feel like a tall black man.
Okay. This is a common argument used by transphobes, that what's wrong with being transracial if transgender is okay. The difference is that gender is an element of culture. I transitioned to white woman. See, I didn't change race, and I didn't change culture. I stayed within my own culture. And not only that, there's a history of this with exploitation and blackface, whereas with gender crossing and gender variation, it's a whole lot more complicated than just that, historically speaking, given that trans people have existed throughout the entire world for as long as humans have existed. Not only that, the root of the problem here is not the fact that he wants to be black. The problem is that he was discriminated against on the basis of his religion. Now, if he wasn't physically up to the task, that's one thing. But he was directly discriminated on the fact that he is Jewish. That's the problem there.
Oh, you want a
Oh,
negroplasty?
God. I have no idea how to react to this.
Negroplasty takes about 7 hours and costs roughly $3,000.
$3,000 is quite a bargain.
Mr. Slave, I got something for us, too. Would you like to take this beautiful woman to bed?
You can't do that right after your surgery. It takes months to recover.
No thanks.
No thanks. Come on, Mr. Slave, I want to try out my new snooch.
I can't believe you just went ahead and had that surgery without even asking me what I thought.
And this is a common thing many trans people go through, that their loved ones don't accept them. And a lot of times trans people have to choose between being their authentic self and sticking with their partner. And that's a tough decision. And it's not about consultation or anything with your partner, because really, it's you who makes the decision in the end. It's your body and your life. That's what really matters. But still, like, this is a common fear many trans people have, and it certainly would not be happening right after you get surgery, because again, that happens years after you socially transition.
Look, we can still be together. All you have to do is stop being gay.
Wow. No one can stop being gay or stop being trans.
How can you say that? You're gay too.
I'm not gay. I'm a woman.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, so is that it? You're just gonna walk out? You men are all alike. Go ahead and find somebody who doesn't have a vagina, you
And of course, the homophobic slur, just a cherry on top of this hate-filled Sunday.
What kind of nutjob would agree to surgically alter my son into a tall African American?
Oh, you're Kyle's father.
That's right, and I also happen to be a lawyer.
If he's a lawyer, why doesn't he sue the coach for discrimination?
Invert the back, move the esophagus to the top of the head. Yes, a full dolphinoplasty could be achieved relatively simply.
Make me a dolphin?
Another big argument transphobes make is that it's a slippery slope and people want to become animals. That's not real. Yes, furries exist, but that's a costume. They're not living as an animal full time. The litter box conspiracy theory about kids going to like litter boxes in schools is a myth. Also, these people have never heard of kids playing pretend before. So add that onto the things to make fun of transphobes for. Oh god.
These girls will do anything. Oh, Jay, should I do it? Should I do it? Oh, what the hell? Woo!
Okay, why are those not blurred? Those are real women's breasts, at least in the episode they established that. And how did the breasts get developed without hormones or surgery?
You know, the strange thing is I haven't gotten my period yet. Is there a reason a woman might miss her period?
Well, normally if a woman misses her period, it means she's pregnant.
Pregnant?
Again, this would not be a question here. This would have been established years ahead of time if they actually, did their research and knew what the hell they were talking about. For
Gerald, what happened to you?
That doctor is a miracle worker, Sheila. I'm the happiest I've ever been. Look, Ike, your daddy's a dolphin.
Okay, the difference here between this and trans people are living their lives as their true gender. If he was truly a dolphin on the inside and wanted to become a dolphin, he would live in the ocean. And don't tell me the whole pregnancy thing or getting your period, because really, there's so much more to being a woman than that. Not every woman gets pregnant. Not every woman can get pregnant. And not every woman has a period. So really, you don't understand what it's like to be a woman. Also, might I add, these types of surgeries would not be done on a minor. No gender affirmation surgeries are being done on minors. They're all being done on adults. Not only that, it's very difficult for teenagers to even get hormones and hormone blockers to help with their puberty, because for some reason they made that challenging. And young kids, the most medical treatment they will have on their transition is maybe therapy to make sure this is right for them.
Coach, I'm all better. I'm ready to play.
Who are you?
It's me, Cobra Flosky. I had a Negroplasty. Can I play in the All-State team now?
Well, you're tall and black enough. All right, Broflovsky, suit up.
All right! Dad, I can play!
All right, Kyle.
More evidence of discrimination.
Excuse me, where do you have special seating for dolphins?
What sort of special seating do you need for dolphins? Is this just accessible seating given your walker? Because if they don't have that, that's a problem.
Excuse me, where's the bathroom for dolphins?
We don't have one.
Well, where the hell am I supposed to go to the bathroom? I need a large tank with salt water.
The point they're trying to argue here is that trans people somehow deserve special privileges. In this case, bathrooms. But here's the thing. What do we need in a bathroom? Toilet. There's a big difference between a large tank with salt water and a toilet. F off.
Oh, Jesus, he's about to play!
Wow, gunfire in a publicly packed area. Sounds like a great idea.
Mrs. Garrison, grab Kyle!
Which one is he?
Of course you can't tell the difference between black people, because he's racist.
You know what? I'm okay. Even though I'm not truly a woman, I think I still like the new me. I'd rather be a woman who can't have periods than a Hey guys! This girl is staying a woman! Who wants to pound my vag? Girl power!
That's not what being a woman's about. So what did I think of this episode? They clearly did not do their research. And they probably should have known a lot of this stuff because it was in the documentary they exploited. Let me give this a rating. F. F minus. Please be kind in the comments. Trans jokes are okay, but transphobic jokes are not. I actually consider myself to be somewhat of a comedian. I've actually written my own stand-up special, which you can watch on my Patreon. Pride and Joy, a Trans Story. All these trans folks talk about is basic biology, but yet they forget the brain exists. It's real jokes about being trans from a trans person, and I think it's pretty funny. If you want to see more reactions, let me know down in the comments what you'd like to see. Thank you so much.